Hey everyone, Eric here from Graphics. Got another cool video for you guys today. Those out there with broken, bent USBs have all the parts there, right? We actually do have a broken, bent USB. See, it looks pretty crazy, huh? Anytime you have something like this, obviously you try not to remove it from the actual casing itself there, because it's very easy to knock components, to actually knock some of these. This could be hanging on by a thread, and then you take it out, lift it up, maybe rip a trace, rip something that's actually going on here. So what you always want to do, always just leave it the way it is, especially if it's bent, if it's not recognizing. Definitely stop trying to plug it in, because you can obviously short it. You can have a problem with the controller, or you can short the NAND flash. You don't want to be going down that route, especially if it could be a possible more of a simple solution to really fix, more of just a connection. So let's actually go look under the microscope, because this is what I have. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Okay, so we have it here, and we're taking a look. So what do we see? We actually see, well, what do you guys see? I see a bunch of blurry right now. Let me fix that for you guys. There we go, huh? That's better. Okay, so we see what's really important for this to ever connect, right, is that we want to make sure that the connection, when you plug it in, that's going to make a nice firm connection. So we actually see one of the actual pads here is damaged, or not really the pads, at least the connection going to the USB, right? Because the pad seems to be actually a little bit okay there, even though it looks a little bit torn. Maybe focus it a little better. But the other three actually seem to be pretty strong. Now, if we look under here, we'll look actually through this, and we're going to see something else going on. So when we look under here, we actually see that there are 4 lines here, right? Those are the 4 connections. 2 of them look to be pushed, because if you look at actually this line here, it looks to be a little bit more pushed. There we go. So you see that there's a little bit of a gap, there's a little bit of space here actually for each one, and the rest look to be pushed. And what's probably happened is this is a little bit lifted, and obviously it's been lifted because it's damaged on this side. So it's not going to be making a fantastic connection, or if you plug it in, it could be shorting, something else going on there. But we look at all the pads here, the pads seem to be actually pretty healthy, they seem pretty good. Seems to be no traces actually ripped here, except for we do have this over here that's actually been ripped. This is kind of just the hook to hold on the USB itself there. Shouldn't really be causing a problem, right, because it's just mainly a holder for the USB, like as we see on this other side. This one actually does have a full, it's fully ripped as well. Well, if we flip over to the back there, we don't see any extra damage to the trace lines themselves or anything else going on there. So what we want to do is, even though these are holding very well, these 3 here on this one side, we see that this one is missing, and this piece is actually broken off here. So what we want to do is we want to reestablish the connection from this USB to this, right, to the board itself. And we see all these little trace lines that go places. You can see that some of these go to these resistors here, and they're going to go through, and obviously they connect via trace lines. You can flip it over, probably go to the controller, and then obviously there's capacitors on this other side here, and then there's the main NAND flash there. So we want to make sure that when we connect the USB itself, it's actually going to have a nice firm connection physically, as well as there's not going to be any problem with shorting out or anything else there. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be removing all of these here, and we're going to be replacing it with a new USB head that we actually do have. We use it for data recovery. It's probably seen in other videos we actually do use as well. It's going to be a much better connection, a much safer bet for connecting something to USB and making sure that nothing is actually going to fail there. So let's go ahead. We're going to go remove this first, and then from there we're going to go ahead and replace it. All right, and obviously from flux is going to be the most important thing. Well, these connections are also going to be putting connections there, and we can add a little bit of soldering in a hot iron here, add a little bit of solder, touch it up a little bit so it can loosen up. That'll be easy to remove, because you never want to be damaging anything, right? We don't want to be damaging stuff. See how that just loosened up itself? And then obviously we want to go over here too, because we want to make sure this is touched up. Okay, so it looks to be pretty good there. Now we're mixing the old solder with new solder, so this is going to make it a lot easier to connect, or in our case, we want to disconnect this too. So see that? Kind of lifted it up. It's so loose already that this is going to be pretty easy. Okay, and it just comes up kind of like this. Looks to be nice. Okay, there you go. Let's go ahead and test it out. All right, there's our diabolical creation. All right, it's gonna be acting the same way. So let's go ahead, actually hook it up. Now we need to be careful. Okay, so we do have a good thing. We heard that noise, if you could hear that. The light actually was blinking there, but that's what it is plugged in. Let's go ahead and see if it's turning on, because I did see the light blink. We can see it's a very small drive. It's only like an 8 gig drive, so there's about 4 gigs though, but it depends really what's on there. Looks like there's a bunch of stuff. So we're going to definitely make sure we transfer this over to a drive right now in case something happens to it before anything else happens, right? So we'll do that right now, and that should be about it. So it is transferring now, and you actually see the light blinking. It's doing its thing. We'll make sure that we don't have to use this ever again. So at least the same USB. So we'll back it up, and it should be good. Okay, guys, we're able to get the data. Customer's really happy about that, obviously. So again, USB data recovery. You can see these are always the best case scenarios for that. For this one, especially if there's no trace lines actually broken. We actually do have, if you're interested in that, there is more damage to a USB in general for that. We actually have that a lot on our channel if you want to go ahead and check that out. These again are very, very best case scenario, obviously, because just the pads are damaged, and usually when a pad gets damaged, especially if it's been chopped or if it's been totally removed from it itself, it's usually the damage to the board itself actually can get ripped. Some of the trace lines can get damaged, and that's not going to be a fun repair, and also that can cause a short to the actual controller there or the NAND flash itself. But we're able to get the data. Everything looks to be good. If you guys do watch this video, please leave a like. Really does help us a lot. Subscribe for more content. We'll see you guys next video. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Take care. Bye.